as I turn around, I've got a piece of metal in the window stuck onto my nose. As I cracked my eyes peripherally, my vision's a shotgun and it's sticking into my face. And the words were, "You're not sanctioned, you better f*** off." It all kicked off, to be honest, when I was 16 years old.
Why do you think they felt threatened by you?
Precisely. Before I came down here, right, I was shoulder pressing 300 pounds.
Did you ever get the fear, being so strong, of killing someone with your hands?
Yes.
You're very respectful, you're very well managed, you've got everything, but there's this side of you that can just switch.
Yes. I don't get other people to do my dirty work.
No.
I do it myself. And I ended up being quite a prominent figure in the Bournemouth drug scene. One particular weekend, these guys, they turned up at my flat on Sunday and they just burst through the door. One's pulled out a claw hammer and the other one's pulled out a 12-inch Sabatier knife. Picked up this Chinese chopper, and before the guy with the knife can move, I've cut him. Top of his chest, all the way down. The whole kitchen is the ceilings, the walls, just spurting blood, there's blood everywhere.
Yeah.
He then went to hit me again. As he raised his hand, he went like that. And as he did that, I cut two of his fingers off. All of that is why nobody ever gave me up, apart from one person.
Did someone bubble you up there?
Yes, they did.
Who? Hey guys, my producer has literally just popped into the studio and told me that 50% of you have subscribed, which is amazing. That leaves another 50% who haven't. This is absolutely free. Just press that button. You'll be notified every single week when a new episode comes out. It's a no-brainer. Anyway, I really hope you enjoy the next episode. Take care, guys. Cheers. Paul, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Dodge. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, mate, very much looking forward to this one. Let's roll the way back. How did you become the most humble yet most feared doorman in the UK for the past 30 years?
Before I go into that, right, I wouldn't say I'm the most feared doorman in the UK, okay? I have a reputation which was given to me by many people because of situations which have happened through the course of working the doors. There are many other door staff that are just as evil as I was, that will probably listen to this podcast and say, who do you think he is telling me? Yeah. I didn't give myself that title. Yeah. Other people did.
Yes.
Okay. Now, having said that, it all kicked off, to be honest, when I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
And I was going out. I was growing up in Bolton. And in Bolton, you had to be quite physical in Bolton growing up. And by the time I get out at 16, I was going out to clubs. And I went to this one club called the Bee's Knees, which was owned by a guy called Dougie Flood. And I was out there one night with some friends. It kicked off and we got involved. And I was involved in a situation with 3 or 4 guys. And I was quite a big lad then.
Very big. Just to let the listeners know, you're talking at a point like Paul got up to like just shy of 30 stone.
Correct. But I wasn't 30 stone at 16.
No.
I was about 17 stone about when I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
And I was doing a lot of training, wrestling, karate. And I started doing some bodybuilding. And I grew pretty big. And we were out. And obviously, like I just said, I got involved in a situation. And I was punching, knocking these guys out, and then throwing them over the bar and stuff like that. The adrenaline was pumping, so I was just doing it. You know, it wasn't like it was all planned. It was all just reaction, because obviously it kicked off. I think it had a little bit to do with being black, because the guys I was with were black. Yeah, and
was it a very white area back then in Bolton? Was it?
Bolton was a very racist place. I left there years ago, so I don't know what it's like now.
Yeah, okay.
But back then it was a very racist.
Yeah.
We grew up with racism there. Yeah. Anyway, as this fight was continuing, I felt somebody grabbed me, and as he grabbed me, I went to punch him, and I saw the black jacket and bow tie, fairly shirt, and I just pulled it back, and he goes, "Come with me." I thought, here we go, I'm going to get a kicking now. So I walked with him, took me to the office, and he said, "I've just watched you out there." I went, "Yeah." I said, "Look, I'll go." He goes, No. He said, "I want to offer you a job." I went, what? He goes, have you thought about doing the door? I went, no. He goes, mate, you're amazing. I thought, okay. He says, do you fancy doing some work here? And I went, but I've never done it before, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
He goes, you can do it. He said, you can fight. That's what we need here. I went, okay. That's where I started. That's where I started doing the doors when I was 16. And it just grew from there. Yeah. I went from the Bee's Knees to another club called the Vava. It was called the Vava, which was in Bolton Town Centre. And once again, another incident in there. I wasn't working as a doorman at that particular one. I was there as a night out. And another situation arose. Somebody grabbed me. I turned around, hit him straight into the nose, knocked him on his ass. One of the doormen.
Oh, mate.
I thought, here we go again. They offered me a job there as well.
Yeah.
And back then, right, you were getting paid £50 a night.
Yeah.
Which was a lot of money, right? And it just because I could fight, right, and I had quite good reactions and I was fast. I got headhunted kind of thing. Yeah. So the only place that I never worked at was a club called Scamps. That's because the doorman knew me and he knew how old I was. So I never had a chance to actually get into that club until I was 18. But by the time I was 18, I'd moved out of Bolton and I'd moved to Rochdale. And
where's that? Near Manchester?
Just outside of Oldham, Manchester, that way. Right?
Yeah.
And I didn't like Rochdale, so I moved to Manchester. Now, Manchester, Manchester was a very volatile place back in the late 70s. And I got recruited by these guys. I was working in a club called the Ballyhoo in Oldham. And for some reason, this guy took a shine to me, right? He liked the way I operated, apparently. And he offered me a job. I said, doing what? He said, as a driver. I said, okay. What? No, I'm 18 years old, right? And I've gone, well, driving what? And he went, meet me here, right? Give me this piece of paper with the address on it. Goes, meet me here tomorrow. Okay, fine. Next day I run. So I met him there. And if you can think about it, it was a Range Rover, right? There was 3 guys in that Range Rover. The driver's seat was empty. And he goes, that's what I want you to drive. And I want you to take those 3 guys plus myself to this address. I said, okay. I did that. And this Range Rover was one of the early Range Rovers with the Rostyle wheels. Yeah. And it was stick shift back then, the big long stick.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, right. And in my head, I'm going, wow, this is great. This is amazing. So I'm driving around. I drove them around for about 3 or 4 weeks. Right? I think that everything was cool. And then they introduced me to a guy called Paul Massey. And they say, we want you to be his driver. I said, yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I can do that. Right. So I drove him around, took him everywhere he wanted to go. And I had a feeling that things were not quite what they seemed. Something I didn't know. I was 18, right? So I didn't know everything that I know now, and it wasn't until I started driving this guy around that I started to pick up some bits of conversation, and listening and watching and realizing that I'm working for a gangster, right? Or somebody that's involved with gangsters. Let's put it that way. So one particular evening, I'd driven Paul Massey to their local meeting restaurant. It was called the North Manchester High School Restaurant. And I parked outside, got out, let him and the guys out. They went downstairs, and I went back and sat inside the car, turned the music on. I just cracked the window a little bit, and did what I normally do, wait. So anyway, 15, 20 minutes into the wait, I'm looking out the window. And as I turn around, I've got a piece of metal in the window stuck onto my nose. Well, it's not a piece of metal, it's 2 holes, right? And as I cracked my eyes peripherally, my vision's a shotgun, and it's sticking into my face. And the words were, "You're not sanctioned, you better fuck off." I didn't say anything, right? As I looked, it backed out the window. I opened the door, closed it, went in, threw the keys on the seat, and I walked off, and I disappeared. I found out later through some friends that apparently, because I was black and I wasn't authorized, they hadn't asked if they could use me, a black guy, to do the job. And because I was black, if I'd been white, it'd been fine. Yeah. But because I was black, I wasn't allowed. So it was either that or get shot. Mm. So shortly after that, I left. I didn't go back.
Well, you left Manchester straight away?
Not straight away. No. I left the job, and then I potted around for a little while, picking up jobs here and there, door jobs, and getting into a lot of fights because Manchester was very, very, very volatile. Worked with some great guys, some very, very good guys, but I was going nowhere. Mm. And I could see the way Manchester was going at that time, that if I'd have stayed, I would have been in jail or shot, because everybody was involved with the gang. Yeah. And where I was living, which was near Cheetham Hill, the Cheetham Hill gang were one of the worst. Yeah. And I wasn't part of that gang. I wasn't part of any gang, but if you're not part of, you get threatened and you get you get bullied, or they try, and if they can't do it, they'll just shoot you. Yeah. You know, and I thought, well, I'm not, I just don't want to be around this. Anyway, a friend of mine, I worked on the doors with in Bolton, had left, and he contacted me and he said, "Look, I'm in Bournemouth and it's pretty good down here. Why don't you come down and have a visit and see if you like it? It's got to give you some work." Mm. So I went down, and it was fantastic. Mm. You know, I was down there 3 or 4 days, never went back. Yeah. I never went back, and I stayed in Bournemouth. My girlfriend didn't like that much at the time, but after we had a 3-year relationship, then she came down. Yeah.
Roughly what year were you when you moved down here?
82.
82.
Yeah, 82. I was 22 years old, and it was like everybody was soft. Yeah. They hadn't experienced what I'd experienced, so they were soft. Some good doormen, right? I've met some Danny McClafferty and Mike and Sean, a lot of guys like Mark McClafferty, Mark Metcalf, Steve Mack was. I got a story about that, right? But when I first came down here, I was one of, I think, 5 only black people that were here at that particular
in Bournemouth.
Yeah. And I started working the door at the 1111, which was the Exeter Hotel. Yeah. And they had a bar called the 1111. And I was doing some door work at Madison's as well. Okay. Anyway, on my nights off, we went to Zigzags. And I was in there. I was dancing, meeting the girlfriends. And Steve McClafferty, Steve, Danny, Mark, Pete Drummond, Darryl Self, These are all the names that I found out afterwards.
Yeah.
This was their turf, right? And I was new on that turf, and I was, well, I don't know what they originally thought, but I went to the bar. And they started, and Pete Drummond stepped forward, and I hit Pete Drummond, he hit the floor. And then the rest of them started, and I thought, here we go. And then Pete Drummond grabbed my leg, started biting my leg. I just burst into laughter, right? There was no fight. The doorman came in, broke it up. But from that incident, we became the greatest of friends.
Yeah.
And I've been friends with them ever since. Unfortunately, Pete Drummond died a few years back. But they
were a good bunch of lads.
Yes. Yeah, man. They were. Yeah. But
well, I'm interested in, why do you think they felt threatened by you?
Size of me.
Size of you?
Yeah.
Okay. So you come down here, because I've seen photos of you. We've known each other 20 odd years, right? And you were a big man and a strong man and a very lovable man. But I've also seen an aside to you where that's where your reputation has come from. But the size of you at your peak was unreal.
Right, I got to tell you this, right? People don't believe it, but I'll say this anyway.
Yeah.
I never did any steroids.
Did you not?
No.
That was all natural?
Natural. Because I could eat, right? Yeah. And I could lift heavy weight.
Yeah.
And before I came down here, right, I was shoulder pressing 300 pounds. Right? Okay? I could squat 400 or 500 pounds.
Yeah.
Right? The only thing that I was weak on was benching.
Yeah.
And I could never break the 350 barrier. Benching.
350 pound.
350 pounds. I could never break that. I could never actually break it, right? There's other people doing 400, right? But everything else, I was the strongest, right? Whether it be deadlifts, whether it be, I used to do stiff leg deadlift, right? 780 pounds, stiff legged.
My God.
Right? And I ended up squatting, right, 880 pounds.
So let's just put that in. So there's 2.2. So you're roughly looking at 400 kg.
Mm.
Oh, God. How do you get all the plates on?
Well, difficult. They did bend. It did bend, right? But they had Olympic bars.
Yeah.
Right. And the plate, we just used them. Mm. And even they started to bend.
Did you ever get the fear, like being so strong, of killing someone with your hands?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
because your hands are like shovels.
So people keep saying, so people keep saying, right?
I have 3 hands in one.
I used to hit people, right? When I did used to hit people, they were out, right? I hit a couple of guys, and then I should turn them over, right? And then they used to land on the floor and not move, and I thought, shit, I've killed them.
Yeah.
And that's when I stopped hitting people. I then started to bitch slap them. Right.
Yeah. What, flat hand?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that didn't bode too well either, right? Because burst eardrums. I got arrested a couple of times, but they wouldn't press charges afterwards because obviously I didn't say, no, did he punch you with a closed fist? No, he slapped me.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So I started to change my process.
Yeah.
And my process was then to throw them around.
Yeah.
Just throw them to the next doorman, grab them, lock onto them, just throw them out. And people didn't like that because they felt like rag dolls, right? I've spoken to people that I've thrown out of clubs sometime afterwards, and they used to thank me for not hitting them, right? But they used to say we used to hate being the way you threw us out.
Yeah.
I said, why? Because we felt like rag dolls.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things that I made the transition from hitting to throwing because I didn't want to hurt people that much, right? And I'd done debt collecting.
Yeah.
You know, I've had to threaten people. I've had to do so. And I realized that the intimidation factor of me just being there works just as much as being, you know, as hitting somebody. And I got sick and tired of being arrested, and I got sick and tired of getting fined. for something which I didn't start, but I finished by just doing one thing.
Yeah.
And it eventually sent me to jail. And I ended up in, I had a fight. I was working at Berlin's, which was a nightclub in Bournemouth in the 90s.
Nice club.
Yeah, it was a great place.
Yeah,
right?
great place, yeah.
But I wasn't a doorman then. I was DJ.
Yeah.
Right. Because my vocation.
A very good DJ, by the way.
Yeah, my vocation. My vocation for when I wasn't doing the doors, I was DJing.
Yeah.
And vice versa. And I was working at Berlin's, and this one night.
As a DJ?
As a DJ. I'd finished working. I walked out the door, turned left to go get into my car, and there's these bunch of people, right, near the entrance, and I'm walking out, and I could see this one particular guy. He's elbowing people as they're walking past him, and I spotted this. So I'm walking, and I've got a girl with me, right. So I've moved her from the inside to the outside. And I've gone on the inside, and I'm walking down. And as he's gone to elbow me, because he's got his back, but he's looking over. Yeah. See what he's doing. Yeah. And as you're walking past it, he's giving it the elbow. So as he's done that, I've put my big hand on his elbow, and I've shoved him. And there's a wall. Yeah. And he's gone over the wall. He's then jumped back over the wall and then just launched himself at me. Dropped his head, just started throwing punches. Well,
what was he thinking?
He was pissed.
Yeah.
Him and his mates. So, as I hit him on the top of the head, right, sent him back over the wall, and then somebody else hit me. So I turned around, hit that guy, then somebody else hit me. So I turned around and hit that guy, and they were gone. And then he'd come back over, and he started throwing punches. So I hit him again. Sent him back over the wall, and then this girl stood in front of me. And this guy was coming back, and I thought, she's going to get hurt. Yeah. I didn't know she was with these people. So I picked her up by her elbows, and I chucked her to one side, right, out of the way, because this guy then was on me. Yeah. And then, obviously, I hit him again, and this time he hit the floor. And then I said to the girl that I was with, come on, let's go. And left the 4 of them there, got into my car, drove off. The girl I was with didn't really appreciate the situation, so she didn't stay. Yeah. I never saw her again. And 6 weeks later, I got stopped by the police, and they said, we'd like you to come to the station to have a chat. I goes, what about? Because you were involved in an incident about 6 weeks ago outside of Berlin's, and we'd like you to come in and talk about it. I said, oh, am I under arrest? He said, no, we just want you to come and have a talk about it. I said, okay, I'll come in. They didn't arrest me, they asked me to come into the station. Yeah. So when I went into the station, that's when they arrested me, right? And they accused me of assault, GBH. So this obviously went through the process, went down to the cells, went to the reception in the cells where I took all my kit, booked me in, and then some hours later they interviewed me, and they wanted my side of the story of what had happened. So I told them exactly what had happened. Unfortunately, the videos at that time seem to have been erased, and so there was no actual evidence on my side, and they had witnesses. These people, apparently witnesses, that I said that I attacked them. I never attack anybody. No. Don't do that. Yeah. Right. Somebody starts, I finish it. Yeah. Right. Once it's finished, I'm gone. Anyway. So I ended up in Crown Court. And what I didn't realise was they were all students, they were all friends, and they all went to Bristol University doing various courses. And the girl that I'd actually moved to one side, well, she was doing drama, and she was in court and she was crying. She was beautiful, mate. Her acting career, she was just gone spiral
straight to Hollywood
from there. Right, she was fantastic. Anyway, I ended up getting about 2 years
just for that incident.
Just for that one incident, right? To be honest with you, from 89 to 96, what I was involved, I was involved in the drug scene.
Yeah.
Okay. And I found that I had a network of people, and I was the middleman.
Yeah.
So basically, I ended up I could source anything. So basically, just by chance, somebody says, "Can you get me this?" Yeah, I know somebody.
Yeah.
And he went on from there.
Yeah.
And I ended up being quite a prominent figure in the Bournemouth drug scene, which obviously the police didn't like, but they could never catch me because the people that I was involved with and the people that I employed, so to speak, would never give me up. Yeah. Unlike a lot of other people that were given up by, as soon as one of them and their people got caught, they're just given left, right, centre. I'm not sure whether it was friendship, respect, or fear. Yeah, we'll go for the fear one.
Yeah.
All right. But as you said, right, I am quite likeable.
You're very likeable, but also don't piss you off.
Yeah.
And you're very humble and you're very kind. You're very respectful. You're very well mannered. You've got everything. But there's this side of you that can just switch.
Yes. But I think all of that is why nobody ever gave me up, apart from one person.
Did someone bubble you up there?
Yes, they did. Yeah.
Who?
I'll tell you about this story.
Yeah.
Right. This was...
Is he still around now? You around here?
No.
Don't know. Okay.
No, I do know he's not, man.
Okay, yeah.
He's not.
But he's not.
He's not. No. In 1996, I was at the height of my business, and I was working at the venue.
Business in serving up or in...
Let's use that word, serving up. Right. And I was working at a place called the Venue.
Yeah.
I was running a night called Heritage. Yeah. Before that, it was called Obsession, which me and a couple of the friends put together.
Yeah.
But then when we fell out...
over money?
They were being greedy.
Okay.
You know, they were being very greedy. The way it was just getting too pretentious.
Yeah.
Right. For me, it's all about entertaining the people and sorting them out. But they were just getting too greedy. Yeah. Right. So we fell out. One of them got thrown across the room. Right. And I thought, okay, well, that's it. So we split.
Mm.
The person that I threw across the room, the office, if he listens to this, he'll know it's true because it was him. Right. I won't give you his name.
Yeah.
But he took Obsession because it basically, we put it together, but he wanted to leave and take it somewhere else and I didn't.
So this is the club brand?
This is the club brand that we had called Obsession.
Yeah.
So he took it and I rebranded it for it to be called Heritage.
Okay.
Which just took off.
Yeah.
Right. It was in Venue 1 and it was on a Friday night. And you got to understand, it opened at 9 o'clock, closed at 2. We had 500 people in the small venue.
Yeah.
And we had 17 to 1900 in the big side, right? That all wanted to come into the small side and the queue going down. Mate, it was awesome, right? But November 1996, I'd booked to go on holiday. So I was doing what I class as my tour, picking up money. Yeah. This was about 5 o'clock, right? I had to start getting ready at 8 o'clock to get to the venue to get everything sorted. So at 5 o'clock, I'm being driven by a friend of mine, all right, to collect some bits and pieces. And
what sort of bits and pieces?
All money.
All money?
All money.
Okay,
I was collecting money for things that I'd dropped off previously.
Okay.
Right. And I was supposed to go and do, the person who was driving me, I was supposed to go and do a little bit of a heavy job for him, right? Because his wife's sister's boyfriend had taken stuff which didn't belong to him. They'd broken all, but he was too scared to go and do it, so he asked me to do it.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it when I'm doing my tour.
Yeah.
So anyway, time was running out. And so I didn't go and do this situation. We'd already been and seen this guy. And I told him when I was going back and what time I was going back. And we didn't go back. Queen's Park Drive.
Oh, no.
I used to live in Charminster, bottom of Charminster back then. And in Queen's Park Drive, we were just driving down there. I was heading back to my flat. And all of a sudden got sweeneyed. Right. There was a maroon senator, right? Maroon senator pulled in front. And there was a couple of marked police cars. But we couldn't go anywhere because we were blocked in. And straight away, I thought, okay, this is going to go wrong very, very quickly. And I says to the guy, is there anything in the car that I need to know about? It's not my car, it's his.
Yeah.
Right. It's an XR2, red one. Never forget it. Right. And I said, is there anything in the car that I need to know about? And he's gone, I goes, is there anything in the fucking that I need to know about?
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, the stuff I got for you today.
Oh, mate.
£75,000 worth of counterfeit 50s. Half a bag of cocaine.
Yeah.
And 7.5 ounces of black under his seat.
Oh, mate.
So I've gone, ugh. They pulled the car door open and said, I'm going out. So I've got out. And they said, we're arresting you for attempted robbery. I went, what? Said, we're arresting you for attempted robbery. I went, okay.
Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that quickly.
Right. So I got arrested, right? He got arrested. I got taken to the cells. He got taken to the cells. I found out afterwards, right? When they interviewed me, they said, they gave me all the details for this robbery. And then they said, we also arresting you for possession of, and they went, knowing counterfeit notes, drugs, blah, blah. So we searched the vehicle and we found out this is what we found in the vehicle. And because they knew who I was, okay, the reason why it took them so long to interview me is because the robbery squad had to get in contact with the drug squad considering what they found. And it was the drug squad that interviewed me.
Okay.
It wasn't the robbery squad.
Okay.
So I'm sat there. They've gone through all this bullshit. I've told them the reason why I was out, right up to the point of being sweeneyed. Okay. So on the Friday, I couldn't go to Heritage, but it ran without me anyway. So that's the way I had it. So it ran without me anyway. Nobody knew what had happened until Saturday. I got let out on the Saturday. Okay, I got let out on the Saturday. I was bailed to go to court on the Monday. I went to court on the Monday. Me and my co-defendant were in the magistrate's court. They read out the charges, and I pled not guilty. No, I know the law. Yeah. Now, the car's not mine. I'm not driving it. So whatever's in the car, I'm not responsible for. So what happened was, on the next arraignment, I go into the court and I got no co-defendant. There's just me. So I've once again played not guilty. And then I've been told that my co-defendant has gone QE, Queen's Evidence, which means he has basically given me up.
Yeah.
He said that he's got the stuff from me, it was mine, it was this, blah, blah, blah.
So he's grasped you up?
He's grasped me up. He's grasped me up. He's bubbled me up, right?
My God.
And I'm sat there thinking, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, it got put to Crown Court. And the first day in Crown Court, I was in the dock and they were swearing in the jury. But the problem was most of the jury knew me.
Yeah.
They knew of me. And the prosecution didn't like that. So the prosecution, they had a recess, whatever they had, and they spoke to the judge. The judge came back and the judge says, we're moving this trial. And they moved it to Dorchester when nobody knew me.
Yeah.
They moved it to Dorchester. So they bailed me again. And between me getting bailed and going to Dorchester, here's what happened. I'd lost my job at the venue because obviously it all came out in the fucking papers everywhere. Right? It all came out. Bournemouth DJ, Paul Brady, fucking drug dealer. Blah, 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 blah. So, what a lot of people didn't know at that particular time, I was hitting the pipe.
Were you?
Just for pleasure. You know? No.
Crack.
Yeah, crack cocaine.
Yeah.
Right. And I had no source of income. Right. So I was selling normal shit fucking to get crack.
You were selling all your belongings.
Yeah,
you got to that level, did you?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Did.
Was there a level leading up to that, doing cocaine and then hitting the crack?
Yeah. I got introduced to it years before.
Yeah. Up north or down here?
Down here.
Okay.
Right. And it wasn't anything that I got into straight away.
Yeah.
It was just a bit of a taste, you know. I got into it because every fucker that I knew just disappeared. Nobody wanted to know me. Right. I was on my own. Right. I was basically out in the wasteland.
Yeah.
You know, so basically that was my only friend. And
horrible friend.
Now, yeah. Yes.
Now,
yes.
Yeah.
Very horrible friend, right?
Yeah.
Sold everything.
Yeah.
Sold my record collection, right? Sold me bikes. I sold everything, right?
Bloody hell.
Yeah. One thing I didn't do was rob people.
Yeah.
But by the time I got to Crown Court, I'd gone into business with a couple of guys. And I'd bought some crack cocaine from them. And it was only about 150 quid's worth.
Yeah.
Right. And I managed to get through a guy called Ian Stewart, who was an ex-manager of the venue, a job in London, DJing. And every weekend I go down, work, I get paid a check, come back, go to cash converters, cash the check in, and I'll have some money. Not a lot, but I used to spend it on crack cocaine.
Yeah.
Anyway, this one particular weekend, these guys, I didn't answer the phone to these guys because I couldn't be asked. They knew when I was coming back. I said, I'll see you guys on Monday. But for some reason, they turned up at my flat on a Sunday. Knocked me up. I was sat in the living room, upstairs, TV on, in the dark, just watching TV. I didn't have any of my best friend with me because I'd run out.
Yeah.
And these guys turned up. Oh, I thought I'd be able to get some. Anyway, I went downstairs. I opened the kitchen door and they just burst through the door, right? So I just let them in, basically. One stood between me and the door into the flat, and one stood by the back door.
Yeah.
And I'm stood about 3 feet from the sink. And straight away my brain's going, this is not right. So what's going on here? And they started screaming, where's the money? Where's my fucking money? I said, I told you Monday. I said, you come back Monday, I'll sort you out. No, we want it fucking now. I'm thinking, something's wrong here.
Yeah.
Anyway, as I've thought to myself, something's wrong here. This is happening in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
This is the time lapse. It looks slow, but it's not. It's happening very quickly. One's pulled out a claw hammer, and the other one's pulled out a 12-inch Sabatier knife.
Oh my!
So I thought, I'm about to get fucked here.
Yeah.
So I backed up to the sink, and I've turned around, and on the sink there's a box, and inside that box is my Chinese chopper. So
yeah,
I picked up this Chinese chopper,
yeah,
and before the guy with the knife can move, I've cut him, and I've cut him down his chest from top of his chest all the way down. Because Chinese chopper's a sharp,
yeah,
and he's wearing this light coloured jacket, and it just goes blue,
yeah,
then dark, right? And as he did that and screamed, he ran up into the flat. And matey then started to swing his hammer. And as he swung his hammer, I moved to the opposite side and I cut him down his shoulder.
Mm.
And then he came overarm, and as he did that, I cut him again.
Yeah.
Right? And then on the next, he then went to hit me again. And as he raised his hand, he went like that. And as he did that, I cut two of his fingers off.
You cut two of his fingers off?
Cut two of his fingers off, right? And that's when he screamed, and he hit the floor. I then I didn't run, I just stormed through the flat looking for this guy. I went upstairs, checked his bedroom, and then I could hear this thump, thump, thump. So I've gone into the spare bedroom, and he's trying to throw the side cabinet through the window. Right? He's trying to get out. The spatting knife is on the bed. So I've jumped onto the bed, kicked the knife off the bed, and I've jumped in front of him. I've picked him up and I've thrown him straight out the fucking window. I watched him, right, and it's like slow motion.
Yeah.
And he's spun and he's landed on his feet, right, but crumpled. I've then gone back downstairs, and this guy, the other guy, is screaming not to kill him, right? I went, I'm not going to kill you, right? I went to the sink, and I picked up a towel, looked around on the floor, found his fingers, put his fingers in his hand, tourniqueted the hand, picked him up, took him across the road to the phone box, took him across the road to the phone box. This is the funny bit. And I dialed 999 for the ambulance. The police turned up 30 seconds after I put the phone down and went back to because my flat was just across the road.
Yeah.
So I dumped him down, right, by the phone box, put the phone down, dumped him down by the phone box, and I've gone back to my flat. And as I've closed the door, right, and let's say I'm deciding what to do, and I've walked into the kitchen, and I've decided what to do, there's a knock on the door. So I've opened the door, just like that, just cracked it. I looked, it's the police, right? I could see the flashing lights, and I could see planes close, and the guy who's talking to me said, Paul, I said, yeah. And he said, we believe you've just put somebody over on the... I said, no, don't know what you're talking about. He goes, do you mind if we come in? I went, yeah. I said, I do mind if you come in. He said, look, we could either do this or we're coming in. So I opened the door. I'm covered in fucking claret. I'm covered in claret. The whole kitchen is... The ceilings, the walls, just spurting blood everywhere.
Yeah.
And there's a blood trail through the flat, right? Anyway, they've arrested me for Section 18 attempted murder. They've arrested me. They've taken me to the police station. They've made me undress, and they've given me one of those suits, right? Only one suit, which was far too small.
Which didn't fit.
Right. Didn't fit there. Threw me in a cell. And there I languished for about 8 hours, right? Now, an inspector come to see me, and he said, we're going to have to keep you for an extra 3 days. And I went, why? He said, well, there's an investigation. We have to wait until the guys have consciousness again, blah, blah, coherence, whatever. I was, well, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, comes to the interview, and apparently The one that I cut on the chest had broken his ankle when he hit the floor, but managed to crawl to his car, drive to the hospital, and then tell the hospital that Paul Brady, tried to kill him, right? I didn't try to kill him, right? But anyway, so.
Are we talking first floor here you threw him out of?
Yeah. Yeah, first floor. Right. First floor. They bailed me. They bailed me, right? And that's when everything just fell a fucking apart, right? And that's when I really dived into the pipe. When I went to the Crown Court, right, everything had changed. They postponed it. Sorry, they adjourned it, and adjourned it, and adjourned it. So what they did, they brought in the attempted murder as well. The attempted murder, the possession of the counterfeit note, what they called it, it was knowingly having in my possession that which is counterfeit currency. When they found the cocaine, they raided my flat, and they found about 20 or 30 used rat bags, right? Out of all those rat bags, they found £10 worth of cocaine, as in currency.
Currency, okay.
10 quid's worth of cocaine, right? Scrapings, right? In court, I was being done for the currency. I was being done for the possession of the with intent to supply the cocaine and it wasn't marijuana, it was black, right? And the attempted murder, all rolled into one. What I found out at the same time, going through my solicitor, my barrister, was that they raided his flat and they found more cocaine, they found more smokables, they found credit cards, they found checkbooks, a lot more than what they found at my place, right? But he was QE. Never saw him again, right? Apart from in Crown Court, where he told them that the stuff in the car I'd sold to him. Now,
ballsy. Yeah, he's
Well, he thought I was going away.
So he was at the spring in his step thinking I'll get away.
He was thinking he was safe because I was
gonna get
because I'm the type of person, I don't get other people to do my dirty work.
No,
I do it myself.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, 3 days into this trial in Dorchester, the trial is coming to an end, right? Because the two guys that I'd incapacitated, they'd given their right, and it was all conflicting. What they was what each one was saying was different to what each one was saying, and was different to what I was saying. But all the way through it, mine was always the same. It was the same, right? And these guys got chopped up, right, and fucking hurt for £175 fucking pounds.
Just because they wanted to pay the day earlier?
No, that's not why they wanted. No, they wanted to do me so that they could run Bournemouth to say that they've done Paul Brady.
Oh, okay.
That's what they wanted to do. They wanted the reputation.
Why were you thinking that? Two men?
No, because
come after you. That's crazy.
Yeah, but the thing is, right? I was so low. Right. Nobody was wanting anything to do with me. So they thought I was done.
Okay.
They thought I was done.
But if you're so low, when your life doesn't matter, you become even more dangerous.
But that's obviously they didn't know that, right? And that's exactly what happened, right? That Sunday night when they came, the clarity, right, in the kitchen, the clarity, right? It was like somebody snapped their fingers and my whole world just went, okay, I know what I'm doing now, right? And everything I did was calculated, right? I didn't, the adrenaline was pumping, right? but it wasn't reactive. Everything was reactive, but I knew exactly what I was doing because I could have chopped him in the head.
Yeah.
I could have chopped him in the neck.
Yeah.
But I chopped him specifically in certain places, so he dropped the fucking hammer.
Yeah.
Right. The other guy, I cut him into the chest because he was stood there with a spaghetti knife in his hand, with his hands down.
Yeah.
Right. So I thought I can get to him before he can get to me, and as I come very fast.
Yeah, you are fast. Yeah.
And I cut him down.
Yeah.
Right. And as I finished, you could just see his jacket open, and then the blood just filled the jacket. And anyway, back to the trial.
Yeah.
So anyway, in the trial, right, in the trial, didn't find any of my fingerprints, right, on any of the cocaine, on the black.
Yeah.
And they brought out this brown envelope, which was stuffed full of counterfeit notes. In my wallet, when they arrested me, there was 3 50s.
Yeah.
But these were real 50s.
Yeah.
They weren't. So they assumed that those 50s in my wallet were from the same batch.
Okay.
So that's why they came after it.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Now, I will tell you something, right, which I didn't mention in the trial. I counted those fucking notes and I did sell them to it. Right. But
hold on, so you did sell those 50?
Yeah, because
75 grams worth of notes to him.
Yeah.
What were they back then? £8 a pop?
They were. I sold them to him for about £8.
£8.
Yeah,
okay.
about £8.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was, my barrister had all the prosecution evidence, right? And they didn't. The question he gave to the officer was, "Did you fingerprint Mr. Brady?" He said yes. He said, "Did you find any of Mr. Brady's fingerprints on any of the counterfeit notes?" They went, "No." She goes, "Did you count the notes?" He said, "Yes." He said, "Do you wear gloves?" He said, "Yes." So, whose else fingerprints did you find on the note? He said, there was somebody else's fingerprints, which is the other matey, right? He said, so Mr. Brady's fingerprints were not on any of the notes? They said, no. He says, apparently you also found 3 £50 notes in Mr. Brady's wallet. Said, did those £50 note serial numbers match any in this evidence envelope? They went, no. They went, right. So why are you accusing Mr. Brady of having these counterfeit notes in his possession when you arrested him, they weren't on him, they were in somebody else's vehicle and somebody else was driving? That's what he was doing, right? So then he went on to the cocaine, right? And he said, when you searched Mr. Brady's flat, what did you find? And he went, we found 20 wraps of cocaine. He said, sorry? So we found 20 wraps of cocaine. And he flipped through his papers. And he went, out of those 20 wraps that you found, how much cocaine was in those wraps? It was, what do you mean? He goes, out of the 20, you've just said you found 20 wraps of cocaine. Out of those 20 wraps that you found, how much monetary-wise cocaine was in those wraps? He went, £10.
Right.
What? £10 of cocaine or £10 money?
Yeah.
He went, no, £10 in money. So 20 wraps, street value at £50 a wrap.
A G, grand.
There's £1,000.
Yeah.
But you only found £10 worth. So basically you're talking about a residue. He went, well, I don't know about that. I'm not an expert on that. He said, I'll tell you that £10 worth of cocaine is just residue.
Yeah.
Right. So basically you found 20 empty wraps and you scraped, that's what he said. And you scraped those wraps and you found, and basically
Tiny amount.
Yeah. He went, yes. Right. Now, so that had been taken care of. Then they got to the chopping up business.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, no, seriously. Yeah. I'm thinking my ass is gone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But when these guys were giving their evidence, it's not matching. And I'm thinking, hang on. And I'm talking in my head thinking, this is not right. They're not telling the truth. They ain't telling what they did, right? They're only saying that I tried to kill him. Why did you go around and see Mr. Brady? We just thought we'd go give. That's what they were doing, right? So when I get in the dock and I tell my piece, I'm just telling it as I'm telling it to you, and I tell them exactly what happened. And even when I told them that I had wrapped his hand, tourniqueted his hand up, and they took him to rang the ambulance and police arrived, you could hear the murmurs in the court. Anyway, on the deliberation, I was sat in the court, and I'm looking at the jury thinking, I'm just trying to look and get a reaction. And the head juror, right, he went,
Wait, he winked at you?
Winked at me.
Did he?
I'm not lying, right? He winked at me and I went, anyway. I got a not guilty on the counterfeit notes. I got a £200 fine for the £10 worth of cocaine. And that's because they had to do something. Right, because I got a not guilty on the attempted murders. I got fined £200
for the whole
fucking thing.
My God,
right?
What a relief!
And Mr. Brady, you're free to go.
Oh, what a relief!
And that, right, and that was the start of my rebirth. I left Bournemouth then. Right.
Why did you have the fear when you come out? Do you think people are after you, or are you thinking, I can't get myself in trouble again in case I see those two lads again?
Right. If I'd have gone back to Bournemouth, right, when I come out, right, if I'd have gone back, there's lots of bits. It will take too long to tell you about what had happened while I was up until going to court, because I still went out. But everybody shunned me.
Everyone had the fear of you, didn't they?
Mate, everybody shunned me. Yeah. I was in the Opera House, right?
In Bochum.
I knew everybody, right? And Richard Carr tried to get me banned.
You're joking, man.
No, he did. He told the doorman not to let me in. And the doorman went, I'm not stopping him.
Yeah.
Right? And I never went into the account. I was going to the VIP lounge.
Yeah.
Right? And in the VIP lounges, everybody who was anybody.
Any face.
In that, in there, right? And I'm walking, and as I walk in, the whole fucking just parts, right? Fucking like that. And there's an atmosphere in there, right, which tells me they don't want me here. Feel it, right? They don't want me here. A few of them come up and talk, how you doing, Paul? Blah, 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 you know. Guys like Drew Yarwood, they came up to me. Drew is a mint guy.
He's sound as a pound.
Sound as a pound, right. Yeah. He was my friend then, and he's always has been.
Yeah.
But him and a few others, they were so cool.
Yeah.
But the majority of people that I was doing business with, Jesus Christ, it's like I had leprosy.
Yeah.
All right. The amount of business I was doing with these people, they didn't get to know me. They were judging me probably on them, right? Because they thought I was going to give everybody up. Yeah. I didn't. Yeah. I was asked. I was bullied. I was trying to try to cajole me. They tried to say, we'll give you a license and we will do this. We'll drop that. I wasn't interested. Yeah. Right. When I was 14 years old, back in Bolton, my brother broke into next door, nicked their TV, and they arrested me, right? Pulled me in, 14 years old. Yeah. And they tried to get me to grass on my brother, right? I knew what my brother had done, right? I was there because he handed me the fucking TV, right? And it was next doors. And I'm thinking, what are you doing? Right, but anyway. Back then, the police, what they did to me, right, without my parents being there, made me hate the police. Yeah. You don't know how I hate the police. So I would never talk to them, right? And from that day on, I never did, right? Never did talk to them. Would never give them the time of the day, right? So when I get arrested, I say a lot, but I tell you nothing, right? Because they kept changing the law to say if you went no comment, they're trying to construe that as your guilt. As your guilt, yeah. So basically, tell them something, but tell them nothing. So just keep talking, right? And I learned how to do that.
Yeah.
So anyway, but everybody else, in Bournemouth, when anybody used to get caught, they used to give people up.
Yeah.
And I never gave anybody up. Nobody can tell you that I grasped them up. Nobody.
Yeah.
Right. And in the Opera House, that particular day, I just looked around and I thought, you're a bunch of wankers. All right. So anyway, let's move forward. And when I left court, when I actually left Dorchester, I had so much relief.
Yeah.
Right. But I went back to Bournemouth and I decided I'm leaving here because these people are just, they ain't shit.
Yeah.
Right. So I went to Brighton.
Yeah.
No, sorry, Worthing near Brighton.
Yeah.
And I got a job as a DJ in a club called Illusions. I was there for 18 months, 2 years. And I took it from a empty club to rammed every single night. I was getting paid some great money. And then a new owner took over and brought his own DJ. So I was out. I was putting around Worthing for about a week or so. Then I got a call from a friend of mine called Nick McAvoy. He said, there's a new club opening in Bournemouth called Berlin's. And they're looking for a DJ. And he said, I thought you'd be ideal for it.
Yeah.
And I've told them about you. All you got to do is go and see them, which is what I did. And I got the job. And I turned up on the Thursday, the opening night. And apparently I was an hour late. I've got all my fucking makers in the car, right? I don't know how, but I turned up at 7 o'clock and apparently I was supposed to be there at 6.
What, for a nightclub?
Yeah. Right. Because it was the VIP
Yeah.
pre-opening one.
Yeah.
And I went, okay. So as I went to go in, you've got the assistant manager, right, stood there on the top of the stairs with a doorman that I knew, and they all knew me behind him, right, saying, you can't come in. I went, yeah, but I'm working here. He said, no, you're not. I went, where's the manager? So I'll speak to the manager. And the manager could come down. Real hard ass he was. And he went, in a Scottish accent, you're late. I went, no, I'm not. I'm supposed to start at 7. He goes, no, 6 o'clock. I went, dude, I'm here now. I said, I got all my records. I said, look, I'll do the night.
Yeah.
If you don't like what I do, then I'm gone.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have a DJ.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I said, if you don't like what I do, I was there for 2 years.
Are you there for 2 years, you? Quality. I'm not surprised, mate, because the tunes you play and the crowd get going. But do you know what is funny? This is hearing these stories, right? What about the stories when you've been DJing and doormen are getting done and you're jumping over the DJ block, banging people? Like, this is like the perfect combo of having a DJ, one of the hardest doormen as well, but the punters don't know.
Yeah. The hardest thing is to see your friends stroke colleagues in trouble.
Yeah.
Right. Now you got to understand in any part of any one venue, you only got 1 or 2 door staff.
Yeah.
Okay. And you've got 50, 60, 70 to 150 to 500 people. And if a fight starts, it's normally 3 or 4 people. Right. And by the time the doorman have done the shout to get back up, it's gone to 10 people fighting, right? Especially if they're groups of guys, which is what they used to be back in the day. And so I used to just assist, right? And most of it happened at Madison's. Every club I've ever worked in, when it's kicked off, if the doorman look like they're going to get unstuck, I join in, right, and I will help. But the venue was on a Saturday night was the worst, right? Because
what's that, 2,000 plus one in there?
It was in total it was 2,000 plus, but it was only 70. It's supposed to be 750 one side and 500 in venue 1. I used to work in venue 1, which is the small side, which is 500 people. Now in venue 1, you'd only ever find 1 or 2 doormen doing patrols, and then the patrols they would the one would come out, another one would come in. So, and there'd always be a doorman at the back. And if it kicked off on the dance floor, the doorman would see it, but he'd move in. But he'd be on his own.
Yeah.
So I used to leap over the DJ stand,
fling people about.
And the doorman just think that they tell these stories, right? Because they find them hilarious.
There's loads of stories around about you.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. And I don't do it because I'm hard. I don't.
Yeah.
I do it because I want to help my mates.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll make sure they don't come unstuck. Because as a doorman, you've got this solidarity and you look after each other.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether you're working or you're not, right? Or whether you've changed the code. It's a code, right? And any doorman that has worked at the venue, Zoo in the Cage, Zigzags, Madison's, that I've worked with, I will support, right? And if I'm in a club and the doorman are coming unstuck, I will step in and give them an hand, right? To a certain point, right? If it's a club I don't know and they don't know me, I have to be careful because I don't want them to think I'm getting involved.
Yeah.
But in Bournemouth, mate, there's tons of those stories.
What a secret weapon to have. There's your front door. The lads have gone in there, all having a tell, going, we can take these doormen on, and all of a sudden you pop up after a DJ and pop up. It's your worst nightmare.
Mate, the faces, their faces.
I know, mate.
Faces.
You pick people up like this. It's easy. You can pick two men up in one when you're at your peak in strength.
That's what I used to do.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's what.
And then just fling them.
Yeah.
Bang.
That's it. That's what I used to do. And like you said, there's loads of stories about it. Right. But I don't play on them.
No.
I've never have done. Yeah. Right. It's when I used to work for the Sevens.
Bournemouth Sevens.
Right. I worked for Bournemouth Sevens, right? Great event, right? And the family was your family.
Yeah.
It was the Woodall family.
Yeah.
And
and used to protect us.
Yes. There was a compound. Mark Metcalf, myself, and several others.
Yeah. We
used to work from the compound with you. And my job was to sit in that compound and watch the cabin, right? Yeah. So that nobody, no matter who you are, could get in.
Yeah.
Right. And that was my job.
And that's why we had you as close protection for all those years, Paul.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. And it was things like that. That's not what I'm built for.
Yeah.
But if that's my use, that's my use. Yeah. And I make sure that nothing will happen.
Yeah.
Right. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't care what you come in with. Right. As long as it's not a gun, of course. Right. Anything you don't matter what you're coming in with. Right. You're not getting past me. Yeah. And that's the way I work.
But that cabin there, just so everyone knows, is interesting. When you've got a 30,000 people festival on the weekend, it's not anymore because it used to be all cash. But everything's just tapped these days.
No, it's all cash. Yeah.
It was all cash. So there'd be swoops of cash going back into this compound.
That's right.
Like copious amounts.
Yep.
And then you would be there protecting my family.
The rest of the guys, the rest of the security,
my wife,
would walk with the guys collecting the cash, bring it to the compound, and in that compound was your family.
That's right.
And that was important to me to make sure that you was all right, because that's what over the years, obviously I got to know you, right? And respect what you've built and what you've done, and your family was really nice to me, right? Not just at the event, but outside the event.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I grew to respect what you guys were and what you guys had done, and like you. So every year, I would repay that by doing the best, doing the job to the best of my abilities.
And we felt really comfortable having you looking after my family and Mark Metcalf and others around there.
It was good.
But they had to get through a compound and a compound. And if anyone was going in there and get to your point, I would imagine they'll shit themselves and go back out of the compound and go.
To be honest, I do believe one year somebody did get past 2 points and then couldn't get into the compound.
Yeah.
Right. Which was good for them.
Yeah.
But the one that got past me. No, not a chance. No. Not me or Mark, all the other guys that were in that compound.
Oh, we had a proper team.
Crew. You had a proper crew in there.
No one was fucking around with that.
No.
But then it was interesting. My family, old man would be counting the money of my wife, and then that would all get taken into a secure core van,
which was outside
with the helmet, the bank.
Yeah, it was, and it was parked there all weekend.
That's right.
Right, and That was in the second part of the compound.
That's right.
Which was just outside of the Cashforth compound.
Yeah.
And we watched that back. Well, obviously we watched that as well. And he never moved the whole weekend.
No, he didn't. He felt very safe as well.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is collecting all this cash from all the bars. Obviously, 30,000 people getting on the beers money, all coming back. That money is not insured until it gets into the secure core van.
That's right.
Until he's got his helmet on.
Wow.
It's not insured.
I didn't know that.
No. So that period where it's gone bang, bang,
that's
and he puts it in his cases and he goes, dum, then it's 100% insured.
Never knew that.
Yeah.
I thought it was insured from the moment it gets to the compound.
No.
Anyway, you never lost anything.
It all works, mate. It's all work. It's interesting these days now that everything's just tap. I've been doing the festival 19 years. The last 5 years, people just come in and going, tap. People don't know what they're spending. Well, we've got a round of 10 pints and 10 Jaeger bombs. But back in the day, you take out 200 quid, you go, and you go, right, I've got 150 quid left. I've got 100 quid. You know where you're at.
Yeah, but the thing is, right, also...
But people spend more this way, by the way.
Yeah, they do spend more. They do spend more, right, but what they do, they spend less on the drugs because you can't tap for drugs, right? Drugs is cash. So, and if it's no cash festival... Yeah. It's a very boozy festival. The drugs is there's no drugs. The Bournemouth Sevens, right?
Beautiful crowd.
Is alcohol and food. Yeah. I've seen that. Yeah. Right. It's not like a dance music festival because yours is rugby and yours is sport.
It's a sport and music.
Sport and music festival.
All the sport, and then you've got 12 festival arenas, 30,000 people, 100 DJs, all the celebrities, TV crews, and 3 days camping and glamping.
Yeah, but that's what you've grown it to.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember when you first started.
Absolutely.
The fight that you had to get it, to want to get it on, and then to grow it and to look after it, and all the hoops you have to jump through.
Yeah.
You know, I'm pretty old.
You do, isn't it? 2008. People are like, are you bonkers? Because it was back then, 2008. There was like 15 festivals. You had your Glastonbury's, you had Isle of Wights festivals, Reading, Leeds.
Yeah, but nobody was doing a sports
and music festival. I was like, there's an opportunity here. People around me going, are you freaking mad? You mad? I was like, well, I was in the nightclub for 10 years, so I know how to promote. Yeah. I've got all the contacts of DJs. I'm well connected with all different celebrities, sports celebrities, and I used to play at a good level of rugby as well. So why don't we create a rugby festival with sport music? And over the years, over the 19 years, it's built into an absolute beast.
Yes, it has. And somebody
we gambled the family house on it.
Yeah, and somebody needs to interview you about all that. Well.
It's true, I'm holding back. The amount of comments coming through, going, we want to hear your story. But
the thing is, your story does need to be told. Yeah. Right? Your story does need to be told when you're good and ready, though.
When I'm ready.
When you're ready, though.
Yeah. Like you.
My story...
Like you. I want to go...
I didn't believe there was a story, to be honest.
There was a massive story.
Yeah, but I didn't understand that until you explained it to me.
Yeah. But you got to remember, podcast is fairly new. In the UK, it's only really... People only listen to podcasts last 2, 3, 4 years, really, in the UK.
Yeah.
And then... But here in these conversations, I want to know, when you got away with that and you went off, when did you hit your rock bottom? Was it after you got let off? When you said a minute ago, roll back a bit, you said you cranked up the pipe even more.
I cranked up the pipe, right, in 96, 97.
And roughly how old would you have been then? Like mid-30s?
30...
40s?
47.
Okay.
Yeah. 47.
No, 37. Yeah.
37, right.
Yeah.
And by the time I got to Crown Court for the attempted murder, which was in 96, 97, right, and I got off, that's when I was...
Did that spiral out of control after that, did it?
Yes.
Why?
I had nothing.
So you had nothing, you're thinking, right, just give me... And what's that feeling like when you're... What's that feeling like when you're got nothing, that you can't earn money, but you need crack?
Nobody would employ me.
Yeah, but you need crack. So what do you do?
I just sold shit. I just sold everything.
Just for a hit each day?
Dude, hit 300 quid's worth of fucking hit each day, dude.
Is that what it was?
Mate, I'm telling you. It went... Back then, right, £50 worth of crack was about that big.
Yeah.
Now it's that big.
Right, okay.
Right. I only know that because, anyway.
Yeah.
So back then you could get a lot.
Yeah, okay.
But I was doing...
A lot.
Okay, I was doing a lot. And
How long would it be? You'd pipe it, bang. That 300 quid worth of the day. How many hits is that?
That would last you. Well, it'd last me day and a half, and that's non-stop. Mate, I'd lock myself away, right? Not into the door to anybody, right? Maybe nobody was coming anyway, right? Curtains were closed. All I had, right, was the TV and the pipe.
Fucking hell, Paul.
Yeah, mate.
My God.
People do not understand what that stuff does to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Did it make you massively paranoid or not?
Yes.
It did. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are the positives? What are the positives for crack coke? What was the positives of it? Just that hit of like, take the world away from me. I ain't got to worry about anything until you come off it and you go, I need to hunt it down again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a taste. It gives you.
It stinks, doesn't it?
Yeah. It does after a while. Yeah. It comes out your pores, right? So it's worse than heroin, right? It's got that sugar, that honey sweet, sickly smell. And mate, you can always tell when someone's on it. Luckily for me, you could look at me, you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Okay. Apart from back then, I was always wearing dark glasses.
Yeah.
Always wearing dark glasses.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I was like, I had to, right?
It's saucers.
But I had nothing left, right? I'd lost my flat, I'd lost the house, cat, everything gone, right? And I had nothing left. And you couldn't buy it. Nobody would
give it on tick.
No.
Okay.
No, not anymore. No. Right. Not since I chopped those two guys up anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So the decision was, what do I do now? So, like I said, when I went to Worthing, went to the nightclub, I was there for about 18 months.
Yeah.
I came back to Berlin's in 98.
You did a couple of years there?
Yeah, I did a couple of years there.
Then what did you do in 2000? Did you go off again? No.
In 99, going to that fight with the guys, with the students.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Okay.
Those three students.
Yeah, okay, right, yeah.
I got sent to jail for those fights, right? Apparently.
So you got 2 years for that, was it?
Yeah, but I only did 9 months.
Did 9 months.
Right.
What was it like? Was that the first time you've been to prison?
No.
No.
Right. It was the second time I'd been to prison. Right. The first time was for, I think I only did a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
But
a warning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got sent to Dorchester prison, which is a 22-hour lockup. You get an hours association during the day, and you get an hour at night. I got done for GBH. I was in Dorchester, and I was in Dorchester for 2 weeks. And during the day, you used to do things called education. And you used to go to this room, and you used to make things out of wood, or you used to learn how to read and write, which I already knew how to do all that. Yeah. But the people that were in this room, a lot of them couldn't read or write, couldn't do shit. So I used to help them. I used to just, talk to them, what you want to do, blah, 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 this is how you do it. And what I didn't know is the couple of screws were watching what I was doing, because I had a reputation, right? And they thought I was a bully.
Yeah.
They thought I was just basically going to start heavying these people for what they'd got with.
Yeah.
But they saw me helping,
right?
And the way I was talking, obviously the way I'm talking now. And I used to go to the gym on my association, right? I used to go to the gym, and I used to the weights. So they made me gym orderly.
Yeah.
And I got into, in the yard, I got into a situation with a young up-and-coming villain, right, who apparently I was sitting in his spot. I went, and? And he went, well, fucking move. And I went, no. I said, as soon as I'm finished, if you want this spot, you can have it after I'm done. Anyway, go for that. So I stand up.
Then he realised, Jesus.
No, he still wanted to have a go.
He did he?
Yeah, man. He still wanted to have a go, right? And it was about to happen, then the screws intervened, right? And we went our separate ways. I could see him giving it all this, all this. And he's in the gym the next day. And I'm benching 300 pounds. I'm deadlifting fucking all these weights. And he's like that. 2 days later, he's come up to me in the gym and he's gone, I don't know if you remember me, because I don't remember you. He goes, do you mind if I train with you? I went, why would you want to train with me? He goes, mate, you're doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
Right. He's a pretty big lad. Yeah. Right. But he's only young.
Yeah.
Right. I said, I can give you some pointers, but you're not training with me. He goes, okay then. But the pointers ended up with him training with me. Yeah. Because I've obviously helped him out. The screw from the gym saw this because he'd been told what happened in the yard. So he was watching.
Just in case. Yeah.
Anyway, I finished in the gym. He finished. We didn't become friends because I didn't trust him. Right. I just wanted to do my time.
Yeah.
So anyway, a screw pulled me to one side. He says, what are you doing here? And I went, time. So he said, what are you in for? I said, he knew. He was asking me that he already knew the answers. I said, fighting. He goes, but you're nothing like your record.
Yeah.
I goes, well, I don't understand what you mean. He goes, your record says you're aggressive, you're violent, and you're a handful. I goes, well, yeah, that's probably true, but that's only when I'm attacked. Yeah. So all I do is defend myself. So normally, this is what you see. He went, right. We had a few more minutes of a conversation. 2 weeks later, I was transferred to a decap prison.
Lovely.
Ford Open prison.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, what's going on? I get to Ford Open prison. Ford Open prison, right? It's like dangling a carrot.
Yeah.
Right. It's like dangling the carrot of freedom.
Yeah.
But if you take a bite of that carrot, you're straight back to...
Yeah, back to normal. Yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So, anyway, you make 1 foot wrong, you're back. Right. So, I thought, okay, fine. Initially, when you first arrive, you're in a dormitory where there's loads, and then after a while, you get allocated a landing where you get your own room. Anyway, in this dormitory, there's about 12 of you, right? And one of my conditions was I had to go to education, and I had to go to anger management, which was fine. In education, the two people that were there, one male, one female, they introduced themselves as entrepreneurs, right? And they wanted you to be like them, as in use your brain to do to work out how to set up a business and earn money that way. So, and I went, in my head, I'm thinking, so you want us to give you ideas. You want us to write down a business plan, right? And then give it to you so you can... I've got in my head. But that means you can take what we're giving to you and you can run with it if it's any good. Yeah. I went, no, that's not what we're here for. And it was, because they were stealing business plan ideas, right? So I put a business plan together for a restaurant, which was something I wanted to do. But it was so intricate, right, that it was too much for them, right? So I got outed from the class. Right? And anger management was once a week, and they were sat there talking to me and others about how violence is never the answer, and how you need to rethink about how you think about violence. And I just turned around and said, I appreciate what you're saying,
Yeah.
but until you've actually been in an altercation, you do not know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because you two have never been in a fight.
Yeah.
You have never been in a situation where you are going to get stomped if you don't do anything. Okay? I understand what you said about you. If you're a violent person, I understand what you're saying. But what if you're not a violent person and all you do is react? You say you're not supposed to react. So if I don't react and they beat me up, what happens?
Yeah.
So well, then you just report it to the police. I said I would rather not get attacked. I would rather not be beaten, and I would rather not report it to the police. Yeah. I'd rather deal with it myself. Yeah. You can't do it. It's against the law. Yeah. So it's against this. So basically, I did longer in anger management because I argued with them.
But the thing is, when I see you on the door, you're the calmest, most polite doorman I've been in the game 30 years to see in the nightclub world festival. Calm, collected, polite. But if someone pushes you over the line, you give them enough warnings. You're very kind at giving people enough warnings, and you talk to everyone. Like, you don't want to go in there and bash people up.
No,
because you don't. That's not your style.
No,
your style is everyone wants to meet you on the door. Paul, how you doing, mate? You're hugging everyone and dancing with the tunes are on and in the club. And
most clubs have more than 2 door staff on the front door.
Yeah.
I run the front door by myself.
Yeah, by yourself. Because you cover the whole door, that's why. With your trench coat on, he's like, Jesus Christ.
But the situation is, if you speak to people,
yes,
right, in the right way, right, they appreciate it, right, and it gives them a sense of calm, even when they're pissed. If they come up and they're too pissed, right, and I won't let them in, and I explain to them why I won't let them in, and they get violent, and I'll say, well, that's the reason why I won't let you in, right? As long as they don't touch me, they're fine.
Yeah.
But as soon as they start swinging, they're in trouble.
Yeah.
Right.
I've seen.
I tend not to let them in my space.
Yes.
Right. Because in my space is arm's length, which means they can punch me.
Yeah.
But I've been hit.
Yes.
Right. And that's when the gloves are off.
Yeah.
But I only go to the point where they're incapacitated, not knocked out, but incapacitated, where they know that's as far as they're going.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm more of a communicator than the stick. Yeah. But if I need to be a stick, I can be a tree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I prefer to treat everybody with respect, and that's why I expect back in return.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to give me that, then don't come here.
Yeah.
Just don't. Because
what is the one thing that can get under your skin very quickly?
Racism.
Okay.
Yeah, the race card.
Okay.
All that rubbish shit.
And you grew up with racism.
I grew up with racism, right? And it's been a bane of my life for.
So if someone was you're on the door, group of lads chirp, your lads come up, they weren't allowed in, and one of them starts piping up to you about being black or calling you name, how would you react?
Nothing. I wouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
Right. My whole demeanor just goes black.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll just stare at them.
Yeah.
And I'll just stare at them and stare at them and stare at them until they become so uncomfortable. There's just 2 things they do. They either slink away or they attack me.
Yeah.
And once they attack me, that's when they become mine.
Yeah.
Right. Because once I put my hands on you,
you ain't getting away.
You ain't getting away.
You ain't getting away. Like,
you ain't getting away.
No one's getting away.
No one, nobody ever has.
But if they can run away from you, they can run away from you.
Yep. I'm not chasing you.
No.
I don't run.
But if once you've grabbed and you're in and they're
once I have my hands on you, you're not getting away from me. Once I got my hands on you, you're mine.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's it, right?
That is actually it, isn't it? Yeah, you can do what you want.
Yeah, I do what I want. Yeah. And going back to the racism, it's not necessary, but some people, right?
What have you been called before?
Black bastard, fat cunt. Parentage has been taken into disrepute. It's black, nigger.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, you got something better to come out with, right? And as soon as they start doing that, I stop talking.
Yeah.
Because no matter what I'm going to say, that's all you're going to cut.
Yeah.
No point talking to you. So I don't, and I put on this, well, I don't put it on, it's just,
it's how you react. It's switch.
My switch just goes.
Yeah.
Because I'm just waiting for you to do something.
Yeah.
Right. And my whole, you can see my whole body shift.
Mm.
And it's just waiting. Right. My face tells you leave or get hurt.
Yeah.
And that's all there is to it. I'm just sick and tired of it. Well, I'm not doing it. I don't do the doors anymore.
Yeah.
But it became so, it became boring at the end.
Yeah.
To where the points I then used to just get on the radio, get somebody else down, and I just walk away.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's what I used to do.
Yeah.
Right. Come and do the door. I need to go to the toilet.
Yeah. Just take it. Just tone down.
And then
you talked about your brother early doors.
Ooh.
Are you close with your brother? And has your brother ever been in trouble?
Yeah. I'm not close with my brother. No, my brother is one of the most dangerous animals that I grew up with.
Yeah.
He isn't now, but he was one of the nastiest people I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
Right. He had no remorse. He punched you for just looking at him, right, the wrong way. And I've seen him fight.
Yeah.
Right. And I've seen him I've seen him hit a guy, and the guy, slow motion, just turn over in midair.
Yeah.
And his face hits the floor first and the rest of his body.
Yeah.
Right. And my brother would just turn around, walk away. Right. And I've seen him, whatever he's drinking, because back then he used to barley wine.
Yeah.
Right. And he used to tuck it into his belt. Right. Fight. Then.
Yeah.
I've seen him do some nasty shit. I have. And as good as I am, he's better. You're
the real deal though. But you're selling what you've told me before and stuff, like he's
real,
a very dangerous.
He was a very, he's mellowed out a lot.
Yeah. Is he older or younger?
He's older.
Okay.
Right. He's mellowed out a lot. I still speak to him. I'm still in contact with him.
Up in Manchester?
No, yeah, it's in that area.
Yeah.
Right. He wanted to come down here. I said, no, you can't come down.
Making two of you together.
It would have been carnage.
That would have been carnage.
It would have been carnage.
Yeah.
But at one time, when I was involved in the drug scene, then I asked him to come down. But unfortunately, he was doing 15 years, so he couldn't come down.
For?
Kidnapping, various other stuff. It was just Manchester shit.
Man,
right, yeah. And but like I said, I got out of it. Things changed when I got out of Ford. The thing about Ford, right?
What year did you get out of Ford?
I got out of Ford 2000.
Okay, and what was your life after Ford? Did you go, I'm done with serving up, or I'm done, or did you get back inside, I need a quick hit and earn some money, or?
If I'd have gone back to Bournemouth,
yeah,
I would have been back in. Back in the life.
Yeah, okay,
right.
Because it was a good party scene down here.
It was
all
fantastic.
Of those years.
It was brilliant,
unbelievable.
89 to 99 was fantastic. Right, even the shit that happened to me.
Yeah,
those 10 years.
Even early 2000s, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
I wasn't here.
You weren't here. Okay.
I wasn't here.
So where did you go then?
In 2000, I went to Oxford. Right.
Okay.
I had a friend that I ran with in Bournemouth through the 90s.
Yeah.
Right. Late 80s, early 90s. And he left and went to Oxford.
Yeah.
He used to drive me everywhere. You know, we used to do. He used to test my pills, and he used to serve them up for me.
Yeah. Was that your main thing, pills, back in the day?
No.
Cocaine?
Yeah.
Okay.
The pills were just an extra.
What, taking or serving up?
Serving up.
Okay.
No, I never did them.
Yeah.
I personally never did them, but I had people that loved them.
Yeah.
And I had guys that I'd give 50 pills to.
Yeah.
Right. And I'd split 50-50.
Yeah.
Well, whatever they sold. And they were selling for like between £10 and £20 each.
They were expensive back then, weren't they? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was making a lot.
And they were strong.
Yeah.
Rumours have it.
12, 18 and 24 hours.
Yeah.
Was the longest that would do. The doves, double doves, rhubarb and custards.
Mitsubishis.
Yeah, the Mitsubishis were the best ones, right? But the speckled doves, they were awesome. But as soon as the 2000s hit, when people realised how much money could be made from pills, that's when everything changed.
Yeah.
Same
price dropped massively as well.
And not just that. Yeah. Price dropped massively because they were mixing it they were mass producing them and mixing them with crap.
Yeah.
And just made them cheap so everybody would buy them.
Yeah.
Right. And the same with cocaine. The ass dropped out of that as well. Okay. And I know this because even though I'd left, I was still in contact with a few people because I still wanted to know what was going on.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was that people kept asking me to come back. Yeah. Come back because we need you to do that. I thought to myself, for me to survive, if I go back into that, I'm not going to, because I'll just get dragged back into that shit and dragged back into the crack cocaine and all that kind of shit. Because by the time I'd left prison, right, I'd quit all the drugs.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I couldn't get them in prison, because I could. But by the time I'd left the open prison, right, imagine this.
Did you want a clean slate? Is that how you felt?
I needed a clean slate.
Yeah. Okay.
I needed a clean slate. Now imagine this. Being released from an open prison, and the only thing that you've got in your life is what you're stood up in.
Yeah.
Which is a pair of tracksuit bottoms, let's call it a doorman's jacket, the old bomber jacket, right? A pair of Gibson boots and a t-shirt. That's all I had. I had nothing, right? The stuff that got transferred to Ford with, I told him to keep it.
Yeah.
Because he just reminded me of my whole life, right? And there wasn't anything anyway, apart from, it was basically chinos, jacket, fucking shoes. I don't want them, right? So basically, I'm stood outside. The barrier's gone up. I've walked out. It's gone down. I'm looking left and right. And I'm thinking, where am I going?
Yeah.
And then I hear the sound of a car coming. I know it's my friend because I recognise the sound of the car because he's had his cap here. And he picks me up and he goes, we'd already discussed it because he's the only one that come to visit me in prison, right? And we discussed it and he goes, you're coming to Oxford with me. But he was like 15, 20 minutes late picking me up. And I could feel the guards watching me. And I'm just stood there going like that. I thought, anyway, car came and he pulled up and he's got into the car and he drove me to Oxford. He put me in his spare room. I then sourced a job.
Yeah.
I used to drive for Parcel Force.
Yeah.
He lent me a car and I was driving that car one day to work and I get stopped by the police. I get out the car and I get arrested for having no insurance. I don't understand how there's no insurance because I've insured the car.
Yeah.
Apparently, my driving license has run out. So no driving license, I can't insure a car.
Yeah.
I got fined and I got 6 points on my driving license, right, that I didn't have. So I had to retake my test. So I lost the job of driving for Parcel Force. I retook my test, got my driving license back. And one of his friends that he'd introduced to me needed some help with, he was getting ripped off and bullied by this other guy. Right? So obviously I stepped in, helped him out. And this guy ran doors. Well, He ran a couple of doors.
Yeah.
And he says, "Do you want to start a security firm together?" I said, "Well, I can't because I haven't got a license."
Yeah.
He said, "Don't worry about that. I can get you a local license." So he forged a local license for me. This is before the FIA.
Yeah.
This is 2000. This is 2002.
Yeah.
About this time. So we partnered up, and we started supplying door staff to different places as well as working the places ourselves.
In Oxford.
In Oxford, Whitney, and we got a contract at a holiday park in Felixstowe.
Okay.
Right.
Back then, so I had 2 nightclubs in Oxford back then. I had one called Park Lane and another one
Park
called
End.
Park End, sorry, and another one called Fuzzy Ducks, is it? Or
No, Fuzzy Ducks.
was that it?
Yeah,
I was like 23 years ago. My God.
I worked at Park End.
Did you?
Yeah, I worked at Park End.
Okay. God, that brings back memories.
I worked at Park End. I worked at the Fez Club. Right.
Oh, yeah, that's...
Yeah, I worked at the Fez Club. Yeah, there were the 2 places I actually worked at. Oh, mate, Park End. Wow.
Yeah.
That was a rough place. I wouldn't work anywhere apart from front door.
Yeah.
And there's always 2 of us on the front door, right? Sorry, 3 of us. And there was me and this Indian guy, right? Really, he was a great guy. Really good, really funny. But he didn't have a license either, right? And he was from London. And he and I, we used to mess with the wrong uns.
Yeah.
All right. They'd be coming down the stairs with the other doorman, right? And they get to the bottom of the stairs where they would meet us. And then we go, "Should we let them out?" I said, "No, let's take them outside and beat the fuck out of them."
What, wind them up? God, yeah.
Because we're huge.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Park End was one of the most interesting places that I've ever worked, because whenever it used to kick off, the front door never had a problem getting anybody out. It was always the guys upstairs.
Yeah.
By the time they get to us, they were spent anyway.
Yeah, they were knackered, they were done, yeah.
But this one particular evening, there was a group of Indians or Pakistanis, and they were in the club. And there must be about 5 or 6 of them. Anyway, it kicked off, and the doorman had gone overboard on these guys. And I said, "We're coming back." And before they actually left the place, right, I knew one of them, right, because they'd already approached me about serving up in the place. Yeah. And I said, "Look, to be honest with you, it's not that kind of place." And that's why they were in. And I said, I pointed them in the right direction, right, of where to go elsewhere. This was before this night. Yeah. But on this particular night, he wasn't with them when they kicked off. Anyway, they came back, about 20 of them.
Tooled up. Oh.
Yeah, and the thing is, they waited until the club had closed.
Yeah.
And the doorman
went back to cars.
Out and went back to their cars.
Yeah.
And I was one of the last doormen to leave. And as I'm walking around the corner, I hear all this running and shouting. And as I turn around, all I can see is these fucking Pakistanis, right, with tools, shouting and running, right. And I braced myself, and they ran past me. In fact, they went past me and chased the rest of the doorman.
Okay.
Right. And I spoke to the guy who was actually there, and he said, "Paul," he said, "you weren't the problem, so you didn't do anything." Yeah. All right. He said, "You've always been good with us, right?" But he said, "Them, nah, because they're all whites." And they took out their rank, whatever. And he said, "You're fine." And I said, "Oh, okay. I just can't go to pub."
I would have raised...
These dogs were wrong.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of them, they were wrong-uns.
Okay.
They were wrong-uns, right?
What, bully? More bully? Okay.
Yeah, they were.
Or going over the top, kicking someone.
Yeah.
Splashing them. Okay. I want to go back. That guy who grassed you up.
Oh,
Have you seen him since you come out?
Oh, yeah. You ought to see him. He left.
He left very quickly.
What is... Right. I bumped into him.
Yeah. Accidentally.
He didn't see me. Oh, he walked straight into me.
Whereabouts?
Right. It was in Bournemouth.
Yeah.
It was in Bournemouth. I think it was in Boscombe.
Okay.
Right.
Boscombe's naughty, by the way. Anyone who doesn't know Boscombe is
I'm just walking through Boscombe, right? And do you know when you recognise somebody's walk?
Yeah.
Right? And he's talking to somebody. And I just stopped. I'm like, didn't say anything. And he's talking. He turned his head back to look at something. And as he turned back, he was here. Right? And he looked up. And I put my hands on him so he couldn't run.
Yeah.
Right? And I went, you're about to die. He started crying. Right? And he said, Paul, I couldn't do the time. He said, what they promised me, right, I had to take it because wife and kids and And I went, so you gave me up? He goes, Paul, but I knew you'd be safe. He goes, how did you know I'd be safe? Anyway, he gave me all the excuses. I said, I'll tell you what, right, since then, right, since I seen him, since he grasped me up,
yeah,
he lied to me because he said he had wife and kid. She divorced him, right? So he'd lost everything, right? Because of that situation. Yeah. He just didn't want me to just weigh in on him, right? And I said, if I ever see you again, nobody will see you.
Mm.
I haven't seen him again.
Not surprised. Those two lads that you chopped up and they come after you, where were they?
One was from Portsmouth and one was from Portsmouth and one was from Southampton. Now, I do believe the one that was from Portsmouth, his brother came into Berlin's.
Yeah.
And you know when you see somebody right through the crowd and you think something's not right there?
Yeah.
Anyway, when I looked up and I went like that, he went like that at me, pointed at me like a gun and went like that. Right? And then I'm like watching this guy most of the night, so I'm not really doing my job. Anyway, somebody spotted that I was on easy.
Yeah.
So I said, well, that guy over there, he's threatened to shoot me.
Yeah.
Right. I said, don't know why, don't care, but I don't want to get shot. The doorman got him, hoofed him out, and I found out the guy from Portsmouth was called George.
Yeah.
It was his brother.
Okay.
Big man threatened to shoot me, though. Well, didn't have a gun on him, whatever, but that George has disappeared. And the other one, who I sliced on the chest, ended up in St. Anne's. Because apparently from that
St. Anne's is a mental
okay. Hospital.
Okay.
Mental hospital.
Yeah.
Apparently, from that day or shortly after that, his mind wasn't right.
Yeah. Okay.
His mind wasn't right. I have that effect on people.
Yeah.
No, that's what happened to them too. But there's been no repercussion on that, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Well, there hasn't been because I haven't since then. Believe it or not, since then, when I came back to Bournemouth in 2008.
Yeah.
I wasn't seen for 2 years. I stayed in because when I came, me and the guy we partnered up, we fell out.
Yeah.
Because he was a bully, right? He turned into, because he got all this power.
Don't know him.
No, it was called Glenn Dunnett, right? It's a right. But he joined the Angels, right? He joined the Angels, so he thought he was a big shot, and he turned into a bully. And he tried to move into Bournemouth, and he tried to use me to do it. Obviously, initially, I said, I'll introduce you to some of the guys that run companies, Mark Metcalf, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And he tried to threaten Mark Metcalf.
You're joking me.
You tried.
Mark had the biggest company on the South Coast at one point, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
He must have had 100 plus doorman plus.
That's right.
Lovely fella.
Very,
Lovely.
very, yes.
Good man. Good soul on him.
And
he's been on the podcast.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And I didn't like what he was trying to do to Mark.
Okay.
Right. And I told Mark what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
And
you don't want to piss Mark off either.
No, you don't.
Oh.
And I said to him, I'm not happy with what he's doing in blah, 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 blah. And he and I fell out. And I said, you need to buy me out because I'm not working with you anymore.
Yeah.
Said one of us needs to go.
Yeah.
And he bought me out and I came back to Bournemouth and I didn't know what to do. So I sat in for 6 months in front of the computer, downloading music.
Yeah.
And I turned back to DJing.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And then
life become kind again.
It became kind again.
Yeah.
Right. I also started a psychology course, psychology and counselling.
Yeah.
Which I got a BA in. I got a Bachelor of Honours, so I passed that, did that. And I got a counselling diploma as well with distinction. I did that first. Yeah. And then I thought, distinction.
That's quite good.
I'll go on to do that. I'll go on to do this at the Open University.
Yeah.
And I found that I could help people, just by talking to them, just by listening to them, to be honest. Right.
Listening is a superpower that people don't know.
No.
People want to talk just to talk. But actually, if you're a listener and take it on board and understand someone, that's a superpower.
It's not about helping somebody. It's not about telling them what to do.
That's right.
It's helping them realise what they need to do to be happier in their life. Yeah. And they have to realise what changes they need to make, not what you tell them. You can't tell you telling people.
You take a horse to water, can't you?
Yeah.
That's old saying.
Exactly. You take a horse to water, but you can't make a drink. And I found that just by listening and then making a point that they telling them something which they didn't realise helps them make decisions on bettering their lives.
Agree. It's the same with this podcast. People leave here and go, God, I feel cathartic. Like they've just gone, that's my life. And they walk away going, because I'm here to listen.
Yeah, but a lot of people want to tell their stories.
Yeah.
Right. And they feel the need to tell their stories or like to tell their story, which doesn't matter what. Because once you tell your story, it's out there.
It's out there.
Right. A lot of what we've discussed today, there's a lot more.
There's lots more.
Right. But I can't really tell you.
We had a chat before, didn't we?
Yeah, I can't really tell you because a lot of the people that I was involved in, right, in the wrong side of the law are still alive, right, and I didn't grasp on them then, so I'm not going to talk about them now.
Yeah. Respect.
Certain people I could, but I'm not that way inclined, so I'm not going to.
Yeah.
But those that know, they know.
They know.
Right.
How's this for you coming on here? Because we were bouncing for ages and you were like, nah.
I wasn't going to do it.
I'm not sure, mate.
No, the reason why I wasn't going to do it, Dodge, right, because I didn't feel right about talking about the people and the life that I led.
Yeah.
So what I've done, I've talked about me.
Yeah.
I've talked about my life. I've omitted the people, right, that I was involved in, right, apart from the ones that didn't do me any wrong and that were stuck by me. And I mentioned them because they stuck by me, right? Certain ones that were on the wrong side of the law, not mentioning them because I don't need to, because this podcast talking to you is about my story, okay? And my story is about me. And as far as I was concerned, initially when you asked me, I thought, oh God, he's going to want to know all the detail. And I can.
Yeah.
You know, it's like writing a book, a memoir, right? Those that know the truth.
It's a need to know basis, right?
Everything's a need to know basis. Everything I've told you is the truth.
Yeah.
And those that know, right? And the first time I did this with you, the podcast went out, okay? It didn't stay in Bournemouth. You know that?
I know.
It went
viral.
It went viral.
I know.
Okay.
I can't wait for this YouTube to go out.
And I had phone calls, right, from individuals that are still involved in business. And do you know what they said to me?
Go on.
Well done.
Yeah. Brilliant.
They went, well done.
Brilliant.
Right? He said, we couldn't do it, but you did it, and you didn't mention any names, and you didn't do this, and you didn't that. But what you said, we know it's the truth because we were there.
Yeah.
But there's one of them, right, who wasn't actually, I worked with him, but I never told him about my life in Bournemouth.
Yeah.
But because I worked with him, he was asked by a individual who was connected to other individuals about me.
Yeah.
Because these individuals were connected to me, right? And he told them that this podcast was a lie.
Really?
Yeah, he did. He said it was a lie. He just, he said, he's a grass, he's this and that.
Wow.
And I went...
That's one thing you're definitely not.
I said to him and said, look, at the end of the day, right, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because those that know. Right? This person is only saying this because he wants to be a big man.
Yeah.
And he never will be, because even when I worked with him, he was a knob.
Yeah.
Right? And he always will be a knob. And he's just trying to be big because he don't think I will find out.
Yeah.
And I did, because somebody told me. And
you find everything out.
Yeah.
You've got this knack of finding everything out in any city that you can tap into.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
And I know people all over this country, all over the world, right? And if I need to find something out, I've got a couple of phone calls.
Phone calls, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. I always feel like I'm one phone call away from anyone in the UK. And if you're not one, definitely two. Definitely two.
Yeah. In psychology, there's an effect, right, where you're 5 places away from knowing everybody in the world. 5 places away, which is quite phenomenal if you think about it.
Are you happy?
No, I am. Yes. And I never actually looked over my shoulder, but I've always been wary back in the day, right, of somebody coming for me.
Yeah.
Now, I am happy. I've got to thank, believe it or not, I have to thank my sister.
Yeah.
Because she saved me. Claudette. Right. She saved.
To Claudette.
Yeah. She saves me. My sister saved me. Right. Because when I came back, and where I was living with a so-called friend who's no longer a friend. And my sister, I moved in with my sister.
Yeah.
And I've been there since 2012.
Wow.
And
fair play.
Yeah. We actually looked after our mother together, who she had dementia. She died, which was diagnosed with dementia in 2010, and she died in 2018.
Yeah.
And my sister and I looked after her. My sister did the night times, and I did the day times, and then went to work. And we looked after her until she died.
Yeah.
And doing that also gave me purpose.
Yeah.
And it's to be honest, my life now is 1,000,000 times better than it's ever been.
Yeah.
Right. I've got a great job. I've got some great friends.
You're loved by everyone, by the way.
I appreciate that everybody likes and loves me.
Yeah.
I do. I really do.
Yeah.
Sorry. I really do appreciate it, but I don't understand why.
Yeah. I do.
Yeah, but
I do. Because you can talk through this, and we can talk about, this is a podcast, you talk about the naughty stories. Listen, we know we've kept a number of naughty stories off, but you talk about the naughty stories, But actually, 99% of you is a beautiful, kind, loving, welcoming, good friend to everyone. It's that 1%, just don't piss him off.
Yeah.
Don't go in his aura, don't touch him. And don't be disrespectful. That's essentially what it is.
I will help anybody.
Yeah.
Right. I will try and help everybody. They say you can't save everybody.
Yeah.
But I will try.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why, but that's the way I am. Right.
Real. I'd say real. Raw. So it is. Like you got all these beautiful parts to you. And that's the why everyone around here loves you. And I know different people in the country who know you, like, big Paul Brady, wow, what a fella, what a lovely man, what a lovely human. He'll do anything for you.
All that's doing is embarrassing me now.
No, but it's the truth. This is the truth. You know, this is the truth, Paul. This is why you're on here today, because I wanted to have this proper conversation with you and go, boom, cards on the table.
Well,
as much as you can.
As much as I can, right? A lot of the people that we've been involved with over the years are deceased.
Yes.
But there's still some that are not.
Knocking about, yeah.
And I can't, and they were involved, and I can't mention
that's fine.
Their involvement.
Mate, that's absolutely fine, because this podcast, Paul, has been absolutely fascinating. And this is Eventful Lives, and you have certainly lived an eventful life. So on that note, mate, I wanted to say thank you for coming to share.
Thank you for inviting me for the second time.
Yes.
Because the first time I did it, I thought, all right, I enjoyed it. Yeah. I enjoyed it. And then you said, there needs to be a second one.
Here we go.
But once again, thank you, man. Yeah. Thank you for inviting me, and I appreciate being on your podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, mate. Your quality, you're a good man, loved by many people. And if people want a part 2 for Paul to speak up about some more naughty stories, just leave the comments below.
Indeed.
The pressure's on now, mate. Paul, you're a gentleman.
Thank you.
Good man. Thank you for protecting my family and the festival of those
mate,
as well.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure.
Yeah. Good man.
Thank you, man.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you'd like to see someone on the show, leave a comment below. And if you haven't already, do us a favour, show us a bit of love, press the subscribe button, and it allows us to grow the show even bigger and bigger each week. Nice one.